It all
What's up, guys?
depends. What's up, Alexis Rocha? You there?
Yeah, man, I'm here.
Oh wow. Did the producers know? Can you put them on, guys? We don't see him.
Give us a sec.
1 second, Alexis. They're gonna patch you through.
No worries, guys. No worries.
But how are you? Until they can't give you video, we can definitely hear you on audio. How you feeling?
Good, man. Good. Just take some time. I'm back at the gym. Been back since Monday, so back to the grind.
Oh wow. How much time did you take off?
Just a week.
Okay. So no more soreness.
Nah, no more soreness. Everything's good.
Damn man, the black eye is gone too. That was fast.
Yeah, I just gotta have a little stitch on my. I mean, a little stitch, a little scar on me.
Oh, so there's no stitches anymore either.
No, they're off.
So do you have like a 90-day, 60-day? How long is the suspension, and when are you officially able to get back in the ring?
I think the suspension is about 30 days, if I'm not mistaken.
The suspension is actually 60 days, so you are suspended until March 29th. And
Oh, okay.
I just want to throw out there that's only in California. Like
Yeah.
other commissions do take that into consideration, but that doesn't mean, for the audience listening and that's tuned in right now, that doesn't mean that, you're not able to compete somewhere else. They do take it into consideration. But yeah, it's only
And they allow you to bring your own doctor's excuse. Like if they got 60 and you went to a doctor that cleared you before, I'm pretty sure they accept that, is what I've heard. Have you heard the same, Alexis?
Yeah, something like that. If I get cleared by a doctor here, then I'm good to fight in California.
okay. Yeah, so I mean only 60 days, which isn't bad at all. I mean, typically fighters aren't really doing 60-day turnarounds anyway.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But phenomenal knockout, man.
Yep.
I mean, it's hard to not bring that up. It's hard to
Thank
not
you.
almost lead with that. Obviously, statement making. How's it feel, and how did it feel in the ring when you landed that knockout?
Yeah, man, it feels good. It feels good to have a little knockout reel like that, and I'm even more grateful that I had a good crowd, I had a good fan base there. So definitely a lot of my fans showed up, and just very grateful for that.
So Alexis, I want to ask about Blair the Flair. Um,
Yeah,
what is up between you two? Seems like there's
man.
still a
Bad blood.
I mean, no, I mean it's whatever to me. I was a better man that night, and I just keep moving forward with my career. If he wants to hold any grudge against that, then he's got to wait in line for the future.
Well, I mean, I don't think he's holding grudges. I think he just is seeking the rematch, and he feels that he deserves it after his win over former Unified champ Maurice Hooker. What were your thoughts
Yeah.
on that performance? And is it your belief that he needs to do more to earn the rematch?
No, he did his part. He definitely shocked a lot of people, and it was a risky fight for him, and he took it, and he beat Maurice Hooker, not dropped him 3 times within the opening first 2 rounds, I believe, and then got a unanimous decision. But I still do feel that he still needs to accomplish a little bit more. It makes no sense for me to go back to fighting him after just a win over former world champion.
And after dropping him twice, did you expect him to show the power that he showed in that Maurice Hooker fight? Like, I didn't know he could punch like that. It felt like everything he hit Maurice with was hurting.
Yeah, I mean that's what it looked like. Yeah, definitely.
So obviously, there's been a lot of talk of a possibility of you and Terrence Crawford. Has that gone anywhere for you? Any traction on those rumors?
Nothing as right now. No contract, no nothing. But I'm gonna just let my promoter Golden Boy do the work, and then if they bring us with the contract, then we'll sit down and talk.
How soon would you like that fight?
I mean, I'll be back in May, I believe. Gotta give my eye a little bit of time. I did suffer a little headbutt, got a little stitches, got a little scar. So I think I'll be back in March. I mean March. I'm sorry, May.
And are you insinuating that you would need a fight before that to make sure that the eye is good?
I mean, we'll see. Like I said, if negotiations were to sit, if they present us with a contract, and if it's good, if it's obviously it's a world title shot, but at the end of the day, it's a business as well. Got to get me paid, got to get him paid, or whatever. So we just got to sit down and see what it is, and then whatever's presented to us, if it's a Crawford fight or whoever it may be, we'll sit down and talk.
Now, have you heard anything as far as, because right now, you're still number 3, but Vergil's going the WBA route. He fights Stenonius April 29th. Keith Thurman is going the WBC route. It seems like fighting Earl Spence rumored for May 27. That being said, it kind of leaves you next up. You are available. Have you heard anything as far as the WBO side? Because in a hypothetical world, those 2 excuses is for me enough to bump you and order that mandatory, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, I would say so. With the two fighters going another route, it would definitely lead me up to being the number 1 mandatory for the WBO. But I haven't heard anything yet. We're just gonna stay patiently waiting.
Now, did you know that Oscar was meeting with Terrence?
No, I actually didn't. My coach told me the day of the fight that they met up, and I still don't know what the meeting was about. I'm assuming it's about a fight deal or something. So my job was just to focus on my fight.
So obviously no conversation with Oscar since.
No, not really.
Okay. How soon would you want to get back? Obviously you just fought, but
Yeah.
Terrence fought in December. How soon would you be open to get back in the ring for a Terrence Crawford fight specifically?
May. I said May before. I'm already back in the gym, still grinding. It's, as a job as a fighter, you always got to stay in the gym, and that's what I've been. When they presented me for the main event, it was a 6-week, 5.5-week training camp, and I was already in the gym, so I didn't need much time to get more ready.
Is there anyone on your horizon that is on your side of the street that you feel like, if I can't get this Crawford fight, so-and-so would be my next option?
Look, I don't really look at other fighters as that. I just feel like I need a bigger name, someone that's been a former world champion, someone that's been there, done that, and someone that just basically has a name for me.
Former world champ. Okay. Who could that be? Who's available? Have you heard of Jairo Calderon? He's probably not on your radar, but he's an undefeated welterweight from Florida.
I believe so, yeah.
Peter Dobson. Have you heard of him?
I think so, yeah.
They don't sound like they're on your radar, though.
Hell no, he just said a former world champ.
I know, but I don't think there's any available to him on his side.
Yeah, I mean, we'll just see. With Golden Boy, they've been doing a hell of a job. Just got to leave it up to them.
Has a conversation ever been had of them having to cross the street with you? Because obviously there's not that many options.
I mean, with Matchroom, there's Conor Benn back then. We threw it out there to fight him, and it was rejected from their side. But I'm willing to go over there to cross the pond to fight Conor Benn, like I said before. But a lot of stuff changed, especially when he popped for the whatever he popped with.
You did see that the WBC cleared him, and he will be allowed to be back in the rankings, and at least they will be sanctioning his fights.
I mean, no comment on that. I mean, it's kind of a shame, no?
So to be clear, you wouldn't be willing to fight him fresh back off of this PD scandal?
Have him a fight or two. Have him clear all the drug tests that he needs to take, all the protocols that he needs to be doing, and yeah, I'll fight him.
Okay. Well, I would love that fight. I'm shocked he turned it down. Was this before or after the Chris Eubank Jr. fight was announced?
It was before.
Wow.
Yeah. This was early last year, actually. I believe this is before I fought Blair.
Mm.
Oh wow. Okay. Now, as far as rankings is concerned, well, at least with the WBO, this would be, I guess, a step back. It'd be a step up if you look at other rankings like the WBA, what have you. But I wanted to ask former world champion Denis Ugas comeback fight.
Yeah.
Would you
Yeah,
be
definitely something to make.
willing, and do you think your team would be willing to make that happen? Because he's been on pay-per-view before numerous
Exactly.
times. He's a former world
As
champ. They may say, yo, we'll take that fight, but come on this side.
Yeah, definitely. Going across, it has to make sense, and for me too. I'm willing to go in there and fight whoever, but just as long as it makes sense, I'm willing to fight whoever.
I think that's a fight. Look, he hasn't came back. He's been out of the ring for a while now. And I think that's a great fight that maybe you guys should look into. That's a fight that for him, you're the young prospect on your way, contender on your way. And I think that that might definitely would look good on your part, beat Manny Pacquiao, put him in retirement, essentially.
Yeah,
And
essentially, yeah.
some people don't forget those shots he landed on Earl, knocking Earl's toothpiece out. So
Yeah, no, definitely. Still a threat. Not
absolutely.
people, not people can knock him off like that. He's still a threat.
Alexis, what was your thoughts on Rashidi Ellis's comeback fight? Well, not comeback because he had one, but obviously he fought
Roman
Villa, the Samson Lewickovic fighter. Did you watch that fight at all?
I saw the highlights right after because people were texting me, so I was like, "Oh shit." I mean, Rashidi was doing his thing from what I heard. He was doing really good. I know obviously been in the ring with him. He's fast as hell. And then I think Villa's pressure just got to him towards the end.
I was hoping that you watched it because I watched the fight and I feel like, Rashidi won at least the first six
Yeah,
straight
that's what I
up.
heard.
Like no doubt in my mind, he won the first straight 6 rounds, and I absolutely can give him the eighth. I don't care about any other rounds, so I just felt like he should have at least got a draw. Do you think
Yeah,
the
that's what I
decision
heard
was
too.
fair?
No, I should have agreed. I would probably agree that it should have been a draw.
Is that a rematch that you're interested, or now that on paper he suffered the loss, it doesn't make any sense for you anymore?
I mean, yeah, like as a fighter, whoever loses, they want to avenge that loss. But I feel like in the future we could run it back definitely. And I don't know how hard. I know it would be hard to make because of PBC and with Golden Boy.
Speaking of PBC, Golden Boy, do you feel that way because of the ongoing, I guess, very public negotiations with Tank and Ryan?
With the whole thing being set up, but the Tank's a free agent, so he doesn't really. I think he's advised by Heyman, but he's not with PBC contract or anything.
He's
So it's more
definitely
easier
with
to make.
Showtime, though.
Oh, is he? I'm not sure who is he with exactly. I'm not sure if he has a contract with PBC, so that's why it'd be more easier for that fight to happen.
The negotiations for that fight are taking place on the Showtime broadcast. The hiccup was the rematch.
Rematch clause, yeah.
As a contender yourself, would you be willing to take a Crawford fight if you're not called the mandatory as a voluntary? He would be offering you a voluntary defense with no rematch. Is that something you would still take, or do you think like if I beat him, I deserve to be, the A side and control the rights to the second fight? Because obviously if you beat the champion, he wants a rematch.
Well, I'm pretty
Yeah,
sure. I'm pretty
definitely.
sure you can't get the rematch if it's.
That's why I specifically
Yeah.
said you're not being called as the mandatory. It would be a voluntary.
And still no rematch.
Yeah, for him.
I
Okay,
don't-
yeah.
yeah.
I just wanted to, be clear. Yeah.
Yeah, for him, because he would be the voluntary.
So how does that work? Actually, I don't even. So what's the difference between a voluntary and a mandatory?
So in a voluntary, you as Alexis Rocha and Golden Boy have the right to try and negotiate anything you want. if you're the mandatory, the champion does not have the right to include a rematch unless the two of you come to some sort of agreement before the fight is called to purse bid. So, you know, when they mandate Paco, the president will give you and Crawford hypothetically 60 days. They said, all right, you guys got 60 days to negotiate. If you can't come to an agreement by then obviously it goes to purse bid, and then you would lose any type of ability to include a rematch for your side.
And then once it goes to purse bid, you also can't
if it goes to purse bid, then Terrence can't get a rematch either, because it would be a mandatory at that point, and whoever won the rights won the rights. But he would also lose the right to include a rematch, because now you're the mandatory, and you know the mandatory doesn't have to give the champion a rematch.
But I was gonna say also the 70-30. That's the split for the champion.
The split.
So
yeah, that's what it is.
when it's not ordered, and it doesn't go to purse bid, then you're able to negotiate that purse or that split or whatever the case may be. But still no rematch if it's ordered. Only if it's a voluntary.
I mean, I feel like if you're the challenger and you beat the champion, I think you have a say in the future. And if the rematch clause is available, I think you have a say whether, you know, you pretty much call the shots because you dethroned the champion.
However,
historically, it hasn't been that way.
That's not the way.
It hasn't been that way.
Yeah, it hasn't been that way. I mean, Andy was able to negotiate a bit more money, but like
versus AJ,
versus AJ. But he was still the B-side. It was still AJ's show.
And he still had to go to Saudi Arabia.
He still had to fight on his turf under his terms. And think about, like, Andy was able to get more money because Andy turned into an overnight superstar. Like, you know what I'm saying? From 50,000 to over 1 million followers overnight, meeting the Mexican president. Like, I'm pretty sure he had to learn Spanish a bit more before he went to go do that. Like, he turned into a sensation. He was a sensation.
Because of AJ.
He was exactly. AJ was so big. And on top of that, he made history. First Mexican descent fighter to become heavyweight champ. That was a unique case where, he was able to get more money, but still was the B-side. Bivol beat Canelo, and they're talking about Bivol coming down in weight for the rematch. Canelo's still the A-side. You know, so historically, that's not the way things have been done. And I think personally for Ryan, you know, it's kind of hard because for Tank, he's fought the former world champions. He's been on pay-per-view. So, you know, he has more to show on that side than Ryan. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens. I think it's too big for them to mess up and to not get it right. Whatever right is, you know, we're going to see. But I think that, you know, all parties involved will come together and make that fight happen.
Yeah, I believe it's a fight to make happen. You know, that's probably one of the biggest fights that'll happen this year, and it's a non-title fight.
Yeah. So, Alexis, are you, I guess, does it bother you that, you know, people are considering you a tune-up for Crawford? Because when the whole meeting with Oscar took place, and I'm using air quotes, obviously the 3-fight plan was there. Oscar said, yeah, Alexis Rocha, Vergil Ortiz, and then Spence down the line, as if Terrence can knock off all those names. Yeah. Does that bother you?
Oh, of course it bothers me. You know, people are using me as a tune-up based on what they've seen back then. Like, yeah, I have a loss, you know, there's a lot of mistakes that I could fix, that I need to fix, that I'm going to fix. And yeah, it definitely does bother me because I'm no tune-up to anyone.
And do you think you can give him trouble, if not get the win, because you're a southpaw? And I mean specifically with Crawford, or do you think that he adjusts well and he's seen all styles?
Look, Crawford's been around the block forever. He has experience, and that's all he has over me, you know. But if I fight him, I have to be on my A game. There's no mistakes. I cannot make a single mistake. it comes down to using your ring IQ, and yeah, he's been more experienced. But I'm a young, hungry lion. I need to make the adjustments just like him.
Do you think the southpaw stance gives you an advantage because he hasn't fought a southpaw at welterweight? Like it's been a long time. Jeff Horn was orthodox. Jose Benavidez Jr. orthodox. Amir Khan, Aegis Velasquez, Kell Brooks, Sean Porter, and David Avanesian. They're all right-handed fighters. They're not southpaws.
I mean, it might give me a little advantage somewhat, but you got to keep in mind he switches too. He can be orthodox, he can be southpaw, and it's not easy fighting a southpaw as being opposed to being a southpaw. But you could use your jab, you could use a lot more techniques to fight a southpaw. So I wouldn't say it would give me that much of an advantage, but maybe like a little slight advantage over other people.
What about your youth? You are 10 years younger. How much of an advantage is that decade of youth?
I feel like it's a good advantage, but I think Crawford's not an old 35-year-old, He hasn't been in any wars really that I could think of. And yeah, I mean, youth plays a lot of factor, but I don't feel like he's too much old for being a 35-year-old.
If you had to take one of his fights to study, to prepare for him, which one would you use?
It'd probably be Felix Diaz, I believe, because he was a southpaw.
Oh, wow. I mean, I didn't even think of that one because he kind of just destroyed Felix. Like that was a badass whooping. But I was thinking, Jose Benavidez Jr. I feel like that's the guy to last push Crawford outside of Velasquez, who got a knockdown that people didn't score.
Yeah, I know. I'm saying Felix Diaz because I want to see the adjustments that Crawford uses against a southpaw, and Felix Diaz was a southpaw, so I got to see the disadvantages, the advantages. But yeah, Jose Benavidez was basically coming up. He was young, undefeated, hungry. So yeah, I would see that fight too.
What do you think you bring to the table? Obviously, when we talk Crawford and fights with him or Earl or yourself, we have to bring up his experience and his ring IQ. What does Alexis Rocha bring into that Terrence Crawford fight that would shock the world?
I'm strong just as him, I bring my physical physique. I'm strong. I'm hard, heavy-handed. I'm pretty fast too. And I feel like I would bring a lot more when I fight a known opponent because, I have been fighting lesser opposition, but I feel like with a bigger opponent, it's going to bring out the best in me. And I'm going to make more adjustments like that. And like I just said, it's going to bring out the best in me. So you're going to see a better Alexis Rocha.
All right. And I got some questions here from the people. Canna in Nebraska says, hey, Alexis, have you been approached about, okay, we just asked you that, Cobbs rematch. Cobbs says he is willing to rematch here on the Boxing Voice, but implied you wouldn't be willing to fight him off of a full 8-week camp. Would you accept a Blair Cobbs fight under those conditions in 2023? Like, meaning, would you give Blair 8 weeks to be prepared? Because he does say he only had 4 weeks for your last fight with him.
I don't know where he said that. I don't know why he keeps bringing that up. We had the same time prepared for each other.
Oh.
But yeah, definitely. But
wait, by saying you had the same time prepared, it doesn't answer. So are you saying you both had 4 weeks? Or you both had 8?
We had the same amount of time to prepare for each other.
Okay. So would you be willing to give because as you can see, we're kind of pulling teeth here trying to figure out who can you fight. So Blair's a free agent, or do you feel like that's just backwards? Because if not Blair,
that's going backwards.
But if not Blair, if not Crawford, Conor, you're saying needs 2 more fights. Who does Alexis Rocha fight in May?
Yeah, that's something that I have to leave to my promotion company for.
So I'm going to go outside the box here. This is not what I want, but former champion Keith one-time Thurman once upon a time could not get a fight when he was the interim versus Floyd, and he moved up to fight Carlos Quintana at 54, just a one-off. Is that something? Would you be willing to move up or down to make another fight in the interim until the bigger fights can happen? Or is that out of the question?
I would say probably going down. I mean, I'm a decent sized welterweight, but I feel like I make the weight very comfortable. I think in the future I could probably go down to 140.
Oh, wow. Oh, wow. So let's go ahead and put it out
Yeah.
there. Would you fight Regis? Where are you? You're LA or Texas?
Me?
Yeah, you're in Cali or Texas?
I'm in Cali. Yeah.
Oh, damn. I mean, would Regis be an option? He just won the belt from Cepeda. If he
Yeah,
would give
Regis is
you a
hell of
shot,
fighter.
if he would give you a shot, would that be something you'd move down immediately for? Or is that something you have to talk to the team about?
It's something I have to talk to the team about because 7 pounds is a big difference, especially when you're dehydrated. You know, you're talking about your life when you're that dehydrated. So it's something I'll definitely talk to my team about. But Regis is a great, tremendous fighter that would give a very fan-friendly fight with me.
Do you have a nutritionist, a chef?
No, I don't. No.
Would you? Is that something that you'd consider? Obviously,
100%.
in a move down like that, and just in the
Oh,
future.
100%.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, in the future, even for 147, you know, there's always ways to improve your game, and I think nutritionist is a big factor.
Well, Danny, my co-host, doesn't have a nutritionist, but did lose 75 pounds off of Foodie Fit with no exercise. But they're only here in Las Vegas, so if you're gonna hold camp in Vegas, we'll definitely hook you up with some amazing food to help you lose weight.
And also, I mean, I do know some nutritionists, some chefs that work with boxers specifically. You know, if that's something that you know you'd be interested in, obviously we can send that to you as well.
What's a bigger fight for you at 140? Jose Ramirez in the Save Mart Center?
Regis.
No, but what's bigger? Jose Ramirez in the Save Mart Center or Regis, I don't know, wherever you guys can make that fight happen?
I mean, with Jose, I mean, you got the Mexican audience behind him. You got the popularity pretty much because he's made a name for himself and he's been out there. And Regis has too. You know, he's made a name for himself. But I feel like more people are probably behind, like as citizens of popularity contests, are behind Ramirez more for the Mexican fan base. But Regis has the belt, so that's a very hard question to answer. Who will be a bigger fight?
What's more important to you? Because we just seen Ramirez turn down a fight with Regis because of the percentage, and instead he's fighting Comey in his hometown, and he's just gonna go ahead and fill it up and sell it out.
Yeah, I mean that's hard. That's definitely hard. The dream's always to fight for a world title. You know, if you're not making any money, then why are you? You know, at the end of the day, you have to look for yourself too. Business has to do a big factor.
Champ, but the money was there. He knew as the mandatory challenger, you get that split.
35%.
You get the split 65-35. He felt he deserved more, and this is what people I feel like a lot of people weren't saying. You know, when you're a mandatory challenger, you actually can get more than the 35%. And we saw it with Shakur Stevenson when he was the mandatory challenger to Jamel Herring. And what they do, they look at your recent purses. How much money are you making? And they justified not just a bigger percentage. Shakur made, you know, more than Jamel, and Jamel was the champion as a mandatory challenger. But that's because they showed, hey, I've been making this. I'm an attraction. I can bring this amount of money. Best believe, if he was the attraction they think he is, he would be getting more money. You get what I'm saying?
More money, yeah.
I think the big problem was that before the belt was going to be fought as a vacant. So it was going to be 50-50. And so when he chose to not fight because of his wedding and then gave Jose Zepeda Chon the chance, now we do have a champion. The belt's no longer vacant. That 50 now goes to 35 for the challenger and 65 to the champion. But even still, like I said, bro, if he was a star in the attraction they say he is, he'd be getting more, you know.
Okay.
I just think that obviously he knows what he's made, And so he wouldn't settle for something that is probably less than, he's been world champion before. So to him, maybe, becoming a two-time wasn't, or I'm sorry, because he was two-time, to become a three-time champion probably wasn't as significant as, you know what I'm saying, making his mandatory minimum or whatever the case may be.
I mean, he just had a wedding, bro. You got to make that money back.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm sure that wasn't cheap either.
Exactly. Champ, so we got James Valdez, San Antonio, Texas, that says Vergil Ortiz versus Stanionis. Does it go 12 rounds in your opinion?
I don't think so. I see the fight being very competitive towards the beginning. In the beginning and towards the end, I feel that Vergil has a killer instinct that he'll probably finish off Stanionis in the ending.
And when it comes to Vergil Ortiz, has that fight ever been offered to you?
No, it hasn't.
Why do you think so? Do you think, you answer that. I don't want to lead the witness.
Yeah, I think, we're two Golden Boy stars in the welterweight. I feel like that fight's bigger to push when it's more valuable as in them right now. Because if he has a title or I have a title, or if it's a mandatory, then it's a fight to make in the future.
If he beats Stanionis and gets the WBA regular, is that enough for you and your team to push for that fight, or do you want him to be full champion?
I believe full champion. That's where I want. That's where I want to be. That's where I want to have a full champion.
I just want you to know, because a lot of fighters don't know this.
The full champ doesn't make mandatories. It's only the regular champ.
And because of that and the history of the regular belt, and, that is the original belt, the International Boxing Hall of Fame indeed acknowledges and counts the regular belt.
As the champion.
As a champ.
Mm.
Well, not like the champ, but, they acknowledge you as a champion.
Yep.
Yeah.
Because those are like the regular, Vergil in this case, even though he's stepping up.
Vergil doesn't have it. It's Stanionis.
Well, Stanionis. So in this case, Vergil's the one stepping up to challenge, and Stanionis is the one making his mandatory defense. While
Earl doesn't have to have a mandatory, who is the full champion.
Oh, okay, that makes sense.
Yep. But why do you think Vergil Ortiz isn't pushed the way Better Beef is pushed? Like, when we hear Better Beef, we automatically associate 100% knockout ratio. I had to Google and make sure Vergil's 19-0 with 19 KOs, but they don't really push that.
And on top of that, when you told me that, I couldn't believe it. I was in the top-ranked gym. Bro, Devin Haney, the numerous fighters, they're like, Vergil has 100%. They're
People
like,
had to Google.
Like, nobody believed this. It's not something that is pushed out there. And it's crazy because, especially with him being Mexican, being from the Dallas area, you think they'd push that shit all over. Mexican. Mike Tyson calls David Benavidez a Mexican monster.
And he has decisions and got dropped. Vergil's literally Mexican, knocking everyone out. That name could fit him.
Yeah, definitely. I can see that. I don't know. I don't know why he's not being pushed towards Vergil. His resume speaks for itself.
How are you feeling about your promotional company and how they're guiding your career?
I'm very grateful for everything they've been doing. I cannot complain whatsoever. I'm with one of the best promotional companies out there, and I'm just very grateful.
So, are you comfortable with the direction they're taking your career?
Yeah, definitely, 100%.
And are you confident that they'll be able to make you a world champion?
I'm confident I'm making myself a world champion.
I love that answer. I got New York Bullet. I should have went to their questions before interviewing you because it seems a lot of these we've already touched on. But New York Bullet, I do want to go ahead and read it anyway. Says, what's up, champ? If you're given an option to rematch Ellis, and he changed it, or face Villa after beating Ellis, who would you take?
I'd probably take Villa. Find Villa, who's an intern champion now. Yeah, I'd probably take Villa.
Oh, wow. I think you just put me on. I didn't know Villa won a belt that fight.
Wasn't it a belt, or it was like an eliminator or something?
I think you're right about the eliminator. I don't know that he won a
Oh, it wasn't a
interim.
belt. Yeah, you're wrong. Deron Ennis won the belt, but I feel
Yeah.
like Ennis is gonna fight Villa next.
Oh, really?
I feel like that's the fight to make next for them. It makes sense. It's eliminator and interim.
What did you think of Ennis's performance versus Karen?
I thought he did really good. It's just with Karen, he was in his back foot the whole night, and it's very hard to fight fighters like that who don't want to engage.
So you don't discredit him at all, because obviously all the fake boxing experts, I'll say all the fans on
Exactly,
Twitter and
'cause they're
social
fake.
media, they're like, oh, he didn't know how to cut the ring off. As a fighter, did you see that, or did you see that just his opponent was very, quick on the feet?
He was very quick on the feet, and those type of fighters make you look bad because they don't engage, and they only engage when you hurt them or when they're pretty much on their back pedal, But that's just what fake experts say, It's very harder for them to say that when they haven't been in there.
And the last one looks like it's coming from Houston, Texas. Would you like your next fight to be on the same card as a Tank Ryan if it happens? Meaning, do you think you could be ready for April 15th if Tank Ryan happens?
I mean, I would be starting. I would say yes, but with sparring, I can't really spar right now because I have to let my cut heal. So that's the shit that sucks.
All right. Well, I think that's all my questions. I do want to thank you for coming on. I feel like this is the first time we've had you on the show, man.
Yeah, man. Thank you guys for having me. I've always heard of you guys.
Not on the live podcast, but we've interviewed him.
No, we had him on Sticky Paws.
Oh, shit. Sorry.
Yeah.
Really? I don't remember that.
No? At another studio?
This is my first time on this one.
At this studio, but we've never interviewed you at another studio?
No, I don't believe so.
Oh, wow. Sorry.
No, I appreciate you guys.
We appreciate
we
appreciate you. We're sorry it took so long. It's the producer's fault who contacted you. We gonna blame him.
It's all good. It's all good. Whenever you guys want me again, let me know.
Oh, man.
Bro, no. Fuck that. No, I knew I wasn't tripping fucking 10 months ago.
Oh, wow.
I got the video right here. I knew I wasn't tripping.
Oh, good. Danny remembered.
And then we got an interview with you 5 years ago.
Wow.
Oh shit.
Where at? Does it say? That was in the field though, right?
Yeah, it was a field interview. You were at a gym.
Okay.
Welterweight prospect Alexis Rocha 5 years ago.
Damn, it's 5 years. You ain't been a prospect in so long. That must have been a long time ago.
Yeah.
Champ, give out your social media for everybody listening, and we do thank you for being on the show. I am going to squeeze another question in because I got a guest waiting in studio. He's going to be coming in. His name is Otis Pimbleton, and I'm sure you've seen the Rolly footage.
Yeah, I've seen it.
What is your thoughts?
I mean, it's sparring. You get clipped. Like, it is what it is, bro. Like, you just get clipped sometimes in sparring, and you get knocked down, you get hurt. I mean, I don't see a big deal about it, but I don't think it's cool for people to be leaking sparring sessions because what for? You guys are just literally in there to train and help each other improve and get better, but to leak it, that's not cool to me.
All right, champ, just wanted your thoughts on it. But thank you again. Give out any social media or direct our audience anywhere you want them to if you have like a merch site or something. Yeah,
man, you guys could follow me at Alexis Rocha 777. I'm selling some merch, the link's in my bio, or if you're not, you can go to teamlexmerch.com. I appreciate y'all.
Appreciate you, champ. Thank you. What up, YouTube family? Don't forget to hit that like button. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. Help us get to that 1 million subscribers. We're on the road to 1 million. And obviously, we have other great content on our Patreon channel. So since this video is over, head on over to our Patreon and check out all the exclusive content or right here on our YouTube members.